What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I've got another special edition review for you guys today. This is the Tricks version of the Puma Ultra Ultimate, a boot that I have pretty mixed feelings on, although this colorway is absolutely sensational. So I'm so excited to see what they look like in person, and of course, see if there's any redeeming qualities to the way they fit and feel, especially after the 1 month review that I had and future try-ons with the boot. Had some issues, I want to talk about it. So we're gonna hop straight into the unboxing. This is a special edition pair of boots in a new style of box for them. This is obviously a special edition. It does have this kind of grainy texture to it that makes me think might be a recycled box, which is great. You've got the Puma brand embossed there with the special edition logoing, same on the lateral side. And this is a US 9 per usual, UK 8, Euro 42, and a 27 centimeters in the Ultra Ultimate Tricks FG/AG. Special edition there, and your Puma logo there, and then some sizing information here on the back. So pretty standard for the Puma brand. They do that on their all red boxes as well. One thing that I do want to mention about the Puma Ultra Ultimate is that it is a very controversial boot, simply because of some durability issues and also some heel issues that I think a lot of people have had in the past with the Ultra Ultimate. Several teammates of mine, myself included, had a little bit of blistering on the heel area. I do think it's a really great football boot if you fit in it really well, but it does take several hours of break-in time, and it is sort of one of those boots you are either kind of hit or miss with. The reason I really wanted to review this is because of the color and because of the homage to the 2014 Tricks that came out, I believe, for the World Cup in the Evo Speed, and also the Puma Evo Power 1.2s, I believe, at the time, that were absolutely stunning. So let's just get straight into it. I want to see what these look like. Oh my days. Well, first of all, Puma decides to put faster football, a string bag for the first time in their boxes. How cool is that? Well, that's awesome. Okay, that's a surprise as well. Forever Better. This is their new like recycled logoing, and then you've got the Puma brand there. So pretty flimsy, but hey, it is a string bag. That's really cool from the Puma brand. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And here we go. No way. These are so sick. Wow. That is a good looking pair of football boots. Holy moly. Okay. So a little bit different than the generation that I tried on. Oh yeah, there it is. See, this is the one I wanted to get on. That is almost identical to my brand colorway, and that along with the pink makes for an unbelievable combo. Those are so sick. Okay, let's get this box out of the way really quick, and we will set these up for you guys. So we'll put the pink there, and then I am gonna talk about the blue one. If you see how close that color is, these are unbelievable. Just two pairs of these, right? Like a left and a right shoe of this color, I think would be absolutely amazing. So this is the Puma Ultra Ultimate. This is no different than any other Ultimate. I believe it does feel a little bit different than the launch colorway I tried. That's probably because they make micro adjustments to the boot as the generation moves forward. So as soon as they come out with whatever's next for the Puma Speed Boot line, if you will, my guess is that they'll between now and then, they'll continue to make micro improvements to the upper, some of the texturing. Obviously, different colorways will have different texturing on them, all that stuff. So we've seen that with other brands as well, including brands like Nike with the Hypervenom Phantom 2 and then 2.5, which they completely changed the upper of because the Hypervenom 2 is just absolutely tragic. This is obviously a much less aggressive version of that, but they have, it looks like, just changed a little bit of something to this. It just feels a little bit different. Maybe that's just my brain. I haven't actually looked at a pair of Ultra Ultimates in a long time, but here we go with some of the tech specs. So let's start off with the sole plate. So this is a dual density speed plate outsole made from PEBA, P-E-B-A, which is basically just like a really firm plastic. The dual density just means that it's got areas probably up in this area here in the forefoot that are much less dense and therefore give you a nice barefoot sensation and a little bit of snapback. These actually have quite a bit of snapback, really nice for a speed boot. And then of course a really rigid midsole. That is mega rigid. So very nice for a speed boot. You've got a really thin upper material on that speed boot, kind of frame with these kind of star-shaped studs. That is a tongue twister for me. Plus some of the chevron studs up here in the toe area and in the heel area here. A pretty much an FG AG sole plate according to Puma. These are definitely more suitable to the AG pitches than the Future Ultimate, which is those studs are all really, really long on that boot. So I think these are definitely more suitable for AG than those Future Ultimates. It's going to be up to you at the end of the day what you want to buy, but for me, if you're somebody who plays on older pitches for AG, I would recommend maybe checking out the MG variation of the Ultra Ultimate, which I know friends of mine have had great success with on AG pitches, which is awesome. So this is Puma's Ultra Weave material, so it's a knit-like and definitely nice and pliable. It does have a bit of a plasticky sensation to it, so I'll put this up to the microphone so you guys can kind of hear. There you go. So you can kind of hear it's a little bit plasticky feeling, but once you get it broken in, it's got this really interesting combination of feeling like a synthetic, even though it is a woven material, it is a weave. So yeah, it does feel a little bit like the Vapor 15 Elite, kind of similar to that, but with a little less structure to it. So it's a little more flexible, especially in the width areas. And of course, it actually is a little bit thinner than that boot as well. So you've got the power print on the upper, which is basically their synthetic coating on the upper. And the way that they talk about it basically makes it sound like they're trying to say that it's got micro level stability, i.e. they basically made the thinnest knit material based upper you could possibly make and then just threw a layer of this, what they're calling, again, the power print material on it, and it's supposed to make it a little bit more structured. Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe. I think the biggest thing with this power print material is that it's just not going to allow the upper to stretch in certain areas compared to others. This entire upper is going to be really soft and nice like a knit, but it's not going to overstretch like you might find on other knit-based or textile-based boots. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you're somebody with a really wide foot, you might struggle to fit in these just because they are a little bit on the thinner side, especially in this midfoot area. The other thing to notice as well, you've got the power tape on the back that's logoed right here. This power tape is supposed to lock your heel in, but literally it makes no difference to me. I genuinely think this is just a marketing thing. The power tape though, this is the same technology that's on the Future Ultimate, which I've already reviewed in this trick colorway, which is also super cool looking. The power tape on those boots actually does give a little bit of structure through this midfoot, both on the lateral and the medial side of the boot. And this power tape here on the Ultra Ultimate does literally nothing. I don't know why it's there. It's just a marketing thing. I promise it does not do anything other than to potentially add a little bit of structure as you are getting locked back into the base of the heel area. You've got a suede, kind of stippled suede heel liner with this nano grip insole. So it's a removable insole per every other football boot on the market. But I love that Puma, and I think Mizuno does this as well, and a couple other brands now. This is called their nano grip technology, which they've had for a long time. Basically, it's a micro grip suede-like material that really does add a nice amount of grip to the inside of your shoe. So whether you're wearing grip socks or not grip socks, it is going to give you a little bit extra grip on there, which is awesome. So that's something exciting about the Puma brand, which I think is it goes often unnoticed, but I think it is something that adds to the feature set of this boot as well. So really simple, honestly, as far as construction for this boot. I do think that this colorway is absolutely sensational. I prefer this pink and blue color over the pink and neon yellow from the Future Ultimate, but the Future Ultimate fits me a lot better than the Ultra Ultimate does. So obviously I'm not gonna wear this pair of boots in trainings and games if it doesn't fit very well. From my experience with the launch colorway, they don't fit that well for me. They are a great pair of football boots though. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna do an on-foot portion of the review and kind of remind myself what they feel like in person. If they do feel good, I might try to break them in. If not, my guess is I'll probably sell them. So if you are interested in, just stay tuned on my website or potentially on eBay. If you follow I put some boots on there as well. You guys can go check that out. So that's kind of it for the tech features. Again, this boot is pretty simple as far as tech features go. It's a very simplistic pair of speed boots. They are really good though. I think they do suffer a little bit in the durability kind of category. They do suffer a little bit there. They also suffer a little bit in the heel area. I think a lot of people have said to me on comments in the Ultra video, the previous Ultra videos, as well as teammates of mine who have worn these, that they just get heel blisters a lot. I don't know whether that's from the power tape that is completely useless or whether that's just the shape of the heel is really structured and there isn't a lot of adaptability in this heel area, which there's not. It's very structured, and there really isn't any kind of moldability to that heel, which I think a lot of people appreciate, especially because everyone's foot is different. So for me, these are a good pair of football boots, definitely a good pair of football boots if you fit in them. If you don't fit in them, but you want a lightweight pair of football boots, I would definitely recommend something a little bit different, potentially a Vapor if you fit in that. I don't really recommend the Speed Portals, but I do recommend both the Morelia 3 beta and non-beta from Japan, and then also the DS Lite X-Fly 4s from ASICS. So those are two of my favorite more like speed boots that are way more comfortable just in general. But for the most part, these get an Oh My Days rating out of the box of at least a 9.85 out of 10. These are absolutely stunning. So let's see what they look like on feet. And I'll talk a little bit more about how they fit and feel, but that gives you a good look of what those look like. Really nice job from the Puma brand celebrating their 75th anniversary, and a great homage to, I believe this is almost the identical colors on the Puma, what were they called? The Evo Power 1.2s. I believe this is the same color from that generation. Very, very cool looking, awesome pair of football boots. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video. All right, guys, out at the pitch with the Puma Ultra Ultimates. These are a beautiful pair of football boots, very lightweight. As I said in the unboxing portion of the video, this is a mixed bag for me. These are kind of meh for my feet, and I don't think these hold up to something like a Vapor. I don't know where they'd stack up compared to a Speed Portal. I think we'll see how the sole plate is, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near close to that Speed Frame sole plate that they have with the Carbitex, or I guess now it's not Carbitex, it's plastic. But yeah, let's get these on feet and see. I'm sure they're going to look sensational if nothing else, because they are such a beautiful pair of football boots. So there's that absolutely gorgeous blue color, which is one of my favorites, and then that pink colorway, which is really kind of reddish pinkish color, which is awesome as well. All right, let's get these on. I'm wearing a pair of Nike grip socks, which are like super, super thin. They don't really have that much grippy elements in it. So it's just gonna give me a good idea of what the boots are like on feet with no distractions, which is kind of the goal of this unboxing portion, or I guess on feet portion, excuse me. All right, get these on. They're totally undone. Ooh, actually, that's not bad. It's been a long time actually since I've tried the Puma Ultra Ultimate, so these might be a little bit, and as you guys know, they iterate, I think I spoke about this in the unboxing portion as well, but they iterate boots as they bring them out. So say the first generation with that electric yellow colorway might actually be slightly different to this boot, just because as they continue to get more feedback from pros and they continue to iterate their process about this boot, it'll get more and more updated with tiny little updates that we probably wouldn't even mention. As I said in the unboxing portion of the video though, I do think this boot is a little bit different. The material just feels a little bit nicer. It's a little bit more waxy and feels just a little bit more sturdy overall. These are a pretty stiff pair of football boots though. This upper with that coating on the outside does feel pretty stiff, so remains to be seen if these will be able to break in pretty well. I probably won't do a 1 month review on these just because I don't think they fit my foot that well. But we will see. I'll probably decide later on while I'm editing the video, and then I'll put up on screen kind of what the decision is, and then we can go from there. If you want like a proper 1 month review, you can go to the 1 month review of the launch colorway, which I've done. And that was actually like a month worth of training, plus I think one of my teammates was involved in that one as well. So no issues there. So here we go. So on feet, I gotta say there's definitely a little pinching back here. These boots aren't super wide, so they do give me some pinching on the outside. That was one of the issues that I had when I first got these boots on, and then they are just a little bit plasticky, if I'm honest. This upper just, it's a nice knit, especially here in this
lacing system area, but again, this upper just doesn't have a lot of moldability to it, or doesn't feel like it has a lot of moldability to it. The size and the length is great. It's actually perfect for me. A 9 US is great sizing. As you can see here though, there's like a pretty decent amount of space. Like I can almost stick a finger down underneath there, and that's just because this material is kind of bowing with the shape of my foot. That's just a pet peeve thing for me. I just get annoyed with that sort of stuff. But on feet, I gotta say, man, the color scheme of this boot combo is amazing. I love this pink and blue color. I think they look really nice. They're just not super comfortable out of the box, and there are so many other alternatives, be it the New Balance boots, which I really like, or the Vapors, which I can't really wear. The Speed Portals, I would say, are kind of on par for me with these ones, at least the regular Speed Portals, just because the 0.1 model, that is, the Pluses actually fit me great, but the 0.1 model just isn't really where I want it to be. And these and the 0.1 Speed Portals are kind of on the same par level, if that makes sense, as far as comfort and sort of this plasticky sensation. And I mean that in like the discomfort way. They're not super comfortable. So there's what they look like on feet. Honestly, if I'm just standing here and if I'm just gonna model for photos and stuff, they look fantastic. I think the silhouette of this boot is actually great looking. I prefer it. I think it's nice. That being said, they're just not that comfortable. They're pretty thin. So if you do have a thinner foot shape, I'm sure you'd be fine for these. I'm also getting a little bit of pinching in the heel area, which a ton of people have messaged me about, being like, hey, did you get blisters? One of my teammates had to throw his pair, he has the launch colorway as well, and he had to throw his pair out because of how bad his blisters were. He literally had like bloody blisters throughout the entire bit of preseason just because they were so uncomfortable. And I'm actually just standing here and I'm getting a little bit of pinching. So that, again, I don't want to totally crap on these pair of football boots because they're not bad. I'm sure for some people they're super comfortable. They're just not right for my feet. Touch on the ball is actually super nice though, and that's one thing that I think the Puma Ultra Ultimate has going for it. It's a really no BS sensation. One of the things that I mentioned in the Puma Future Ultimate video, the Tricks model as well, which those boots I absolutely love, and those are like some of my top football boots. Just as far as comfort out of the box goes. But I would say this goes for these Tricks as well. Both boots just have a really nice, because it's a one piece, it's super consistent. So the touch, regardless of whether you're here, whether you're on the lateral side of the boot, it's gonna be really consistent throughout the entire sensation of wearing and dribbling, shooting, all that stuff. Like, you're really not going to get any distractions or BS. There's no like extra texturing to the upper that isn't in one area that isn't in another area, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I would say these fit. If you have a little bit of a thinner foot, kind of a regular to thin foot, I'd say give these a go. I think some people will really like them because they are super, super thin and they do give that really raw sensation on feet. The sole plate's totally adequate. It's fine. It doesn't have that much snapback for a speed boot, and so I really don't think it's all that. The stud pattern's totally fine for AG and FG. I'd say this is definitely a more suitable sole plate for both surfaces compared to the Future Ultimate that has really long kind of like talon-y studs on them. Both stud patterns are fine. They feel good under feet. This one is just going to be a lot safer for both pitches. So if you are looking for something that has the ability to go on both pitches, these will be totally fine from a stud pattern perspective. But again, this boot, I can't justify it for myself. They're really hard to break in. They feel kind of plasticky on my foot, and they just don't fit that well in the heel area either. So for me, these are a no-go. I'm not going to do a 1 month review. I've decided that now. Not going to do a 1 month review on these, unfortunately, just because they just don't fit my feet that well. And I wish that I could, because I think they're a cool colorway, and I think the silhouette of them is really low profile and really nice. But again, that's just a personal call. So if you guys did enjoy that video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. If you are interested in Zoom calls or any sort of chats, whether it be about boots or your own footballing career, or your kids' footballing career, if you need advice on that stuff as well, more than happy to give it. I have Zoom calls available for scheduling on my website, www.noahcavanaugh.com/shop, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.